Imagine stepping into your brand new luxury car, placing your foot gently on the brake, and instead, feeling the engine roar to life and the vehicle launch forward like a missile. That's not a nightmare. That's what hundreds of Americans claimed happened when they drove the Audi 5000. And what followed wasn't just a PR disaster. It was a media firestorm, a corporate near-death experience, and one of the most controversial car scandals in automotive history. Back in the early 1980s, Audi was building something few European manufacturers had achieved: credibility in the American market. The Audi 5000 was elegant, powerful, refined. It was the kind of car that made you feel like you'd arrived: sleek lines, cutting-edge engineering, and a reputation for precision. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement. By the mid-80s, sales were climbing, and Audi had become a name spoken with the same respect as BMW and Mercedes. But that success was short-lived, because then came the reports. Drivers began to claim their Audi 5000 were accelerating on their own. Not just speeding up a little. No, full throttle, uncontrollable surges forward. People said they were sitting at red lights, foot firmly on the brake, when suddenly the car leaped forward into traffic. Garages were destroyed, walls smashed. Tragically, lives were lost. One of the most haunting cases involved a child crushed against a garage wall as the car lunged forward. The story made national news, and as the complaints piled up, hundreds of them, public panic set in. But things truly exploded when CBS's 60 Minutes, the most watched news program in America at the time, aired an episode in November 1986 that would change everything. The segment featured emotional interviews with grieving families, horrifying reenactments, and most importantly, video of an Audi 5000 accelerating on its own, as if possessed. The camera captured a driver with both feet visible, neither on the gas, and yet, the engine revved and the car moved forward. The message was clear. Audi had built a car that could kill, and Americans believed it. Within days, Audi's US sales nosedived. In 1985, they had sold over 74,000 cars. By 1991, that number dropped to just over 12,000. Dealerships were flooded with customers demanding answers, demanding refunds. The brand's reputation was shattered. And worse, it wasn't just Audi under the microscope. The entire idea of automotive safety, of electronic reliability, of trust in engineering was being questioned by the American public. And in the court of public opinion, Audi was guilty. But then came the twist no one saw coming. Investigations began to dig into the claims. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, launched an in-depth study into the incidents. Audi, desperate to save face, commissioned its own technical reports and brought in independent experts. And slowly, the truth began to surface. The so-called sudden acceleration wasn't caused by a malfunction in the car's electronics or engine at all. It was, in the majority of cases, driver error. Specifically, drivers were accidentally pressing the accelerator instead of the brake. The Audi 5000 had a pedal layout that was slightly different from what many American drivers were used to. The brake and gas pedals were closer together and positioned lower than in domestic cars. It was subtle, but enough to confuse some drivers. Under stress, they'd hit the gas thinking it was the brake, and the more the car accelerated, the harder they pressed, making things worse. And the transmission's design didn't require the brake to be engaged before shifting into drive, further enabling these incidents. But what about that damning footage from 60 Minutes? That's where the scandal went from serious to sinister. It turns out the video was fake. The car didn't accelerate on its own. A hidden device, a canister and hose, had been rigged into the engine to push the throttle open without touching the pedals. CBS had aired a staged clip, presenting it as if it were real. And once this deception was uncovered, it cast a long, dark shadow over the entire investigation. Audi was furious. They demanded retractions, issued press releases, and even ran full-page ads defending their brand. But the damage was already done. The public didn't care about the science. They saw what they saw. The visuals were more powerful than the truth. Even though NHTSA's final report stated clearly that there were no electronic defects in the Audi 5000, and even though they confirmed the cause was pedal misapplication in the vast majority of cases, it didn't matter. People didn't want explanations. They wanted someone to blame. And for the media, Audi was the perfect villain. A foreign automaker, a luxury brand, a sleek European company invading America's heartland. It was easy to hate. Audi tried to fix the issue. They redesigned the pedals, added a brake interlock feature, launched a campaign to rebuild trust. But it would take nearly 2 decades for the brand to fully recover in the US. Even today, many people still associate Audi with the phrase sudden unintended acceleration, even though it was never proven to be a design flaw. In fact, the Audi 5000 scandal taught the auto industry and the media a painful but necessary lesson. First, perceptions can destroy a brand faster than facts can save it. Second, journalism has power. The power to protect consumers, yes, but also the power to destroy reputations with just one edited clip. And third, human error, when mixed with fear and poor communication, can turn into a full-blown crisis. Today, Audi is back on top, sleek, respected, and considered one of the leaders in luxury and performance. But the ghost of the 5000 still lingers, not in the specs, not in the design, but in the way it taught the world that one mistake, one misunderstood tragedy, can haunt a company for generations. And yet, you have to ask, what if 60 Minutes had told the whole truth? What if the media had waited for the data instead of chasing the drama? What if the public had listened to the engineers instead of the headlines? Maybe the Audi 5000 would have become a legend for its innovation, not its infamy. But instead, it became a warning. Maybe the Audi 5000 would have become a legend for its innovation, not its infamy.